guys, welcome to week 4, which is covering about our ego. So basically, to start off with, ego, to me, there's a positive and a negative. So the positive is the one that we want to have, the positive ego. That's where we are encouraged to just take it a little bit further, be comfortable in the uncomfortable, but we never want to be in pain. And that's where negative ego comes in. If the negative ego arrives, it's often where injury or overstretching can occur. And yes, you can overstretch. So it's really important that we find that positive ego and leave that negative ego totally out the room, okay? So I'll walk you through how to find that in certain poses. Each pose is going to be different. And the more you practice this, the more you're going to understand it. And to be honest, sometimes the only way you can figure that out is by that negative ego coming in. Hopefully not throughout this program, but if you have trouble finding that negative ego and leaving it outside, you're actually going to, stumble across a pose or muscles that get overstretched, and you'll actually be sore from doing it in a not a good way. So jump on board on your mat and let me guide you through it. So let's start, as we always do, in our seated position, resting the hands on the knees. You can cross your legs however you like here, maybe stretch them out, kneeling, whatever you like, okay? So let's close those eyes down. Take a big breath in through the nose, sitting nice and tall. And exhale, drop the shoulders down. Taking a few more breaths like that, breathing in length. Breathing away tension from within the body. Notice your physical body, taking a little scan over the entire areas from head to toe. Any areas of achiness, discomfort, whatever it might be. And now's already a good time to notice your ego. If your knees are uncomfortable in this position, I encourage you to stretch them out straight. You don't have to have them crossed. If you're comfortable here, let's find some long breath. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, we want to find that ujjayi breath that we've previously learned. Let's begin with that. Inhaling for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more cycle like that with me counting you through it. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's continue. Inhale, take a wide arm reach. Inhale, 1, 2, you know the drill. Exhale, twist to your right hand side. 5 seconds still to get that. And breathing through these poses still. So finding that breath, maintaining it as often as you can. So already we're noticing our ego or not, the presence or absence of it. So if you're really forcing yourself into this twist, and it might feel good at the time, but we actually want to use our core strength here to twist us round. Your hands are just there for guidance. So if I was to let go, there's not much movement different. You'll know that if you're really pushing yourself in, you're going to overdo it, like I mentioned. So keep that in mind already. Remember, it's just your right fingertips grounding behind you. Good. Let's come back to face the front. Inhale over that 5 seconds, big wide reach high. Exhale into your left side. Keep in mind that it's great to close your eyes whenever feels comfortable. Keeping that long breath happening whenever you can remember to. Keep the core engaged, sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to unwind. Inhale to do so. Big wide reach up high as we always do. Take your overhead reach. Exhale your right hand over to the right side. Remember, point that elbow down towards the ground, and it's an active reach for that top left arm. Option to gaze wherever serves your neck well here. Keep in mind that, once again, our ego, I'm going to mention this a lot, if you're wanting to ground your elbow and your hips come up, that's that negative ego of you really wanting to ground the elbow. So bring it back. Use your arm strength here. You're strengthening your triceps in that right arm, and keep that other arm active. Flexibility takes lots of practice and patience, but also persistence, the 3 Ps I like to say. All right, let's come on up. Inhale, rise both hands up high. Exhale over to the left. I often find one side is more flexible than the other, some days more than not, or some days. Notice what it is for you today. Relaxing the knees and the hips. All right, let's rise up. Inhale, big reach up high. Exhale the hands down through heart center at the chest. Take another breath of pause there. Letting the breath go. And feel free to gently open the eyes. All right, let's rock on over to tabletop. So once we're there, let's do a couple of cat-cow poses. So it's nice to stretch the spine out in all directions. So inhale, drop the belly button down, lift the chest and chin. And exhale, push the back to the sky, really drawing the belly button into the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and chin to cow pose. Really exaggerate it. Exhale to cat. One more each way. Inhale slowly back. And exhale into cat. Inhale to a neutral position then. So from our cat and cow pose in tabletop, let's bring back the child's pose. So bring the big toes to touch. Walk the hips back to the heels. Keep the knees about that width. If you want to go a little wider, you can. As always, feel free to bend through the elbows, stack the hands into fists if you need that head rest. If you can though, reach those arms out long, extend the fingers out wide, find energy in those fingers, and rest your forehead to the mat. Take a few long breaths there. Finding length in each vertebrae as you continue to press the hips down towards the heels. All right, let's keep moving. Inhale, rise up into tabletop. Tuck the toes under wherever you are, and then exhale, lead the hips up, bending through the knees, dropping the chest slightly into our downward facing dog. So pedal out the legs there if that feels nice. Ooh, my calves are feeling tight today. Welcome to the new space too, guys. This is our new, new house and in my yoga room. Alrighty, from here then, we're going to make our way to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Remember, the least amount of steps, the better, the more we're going to progress through our practice. So core strength, arm strength as well. Let's take a big few steps, as many as you need to get to the top. Feet can be together or hip width apart as you bend through the knees. Fold yourself down and really let yourself sink into those hamstring muscles through the back of the legs there. Let all of the blood rush down towards the head. And with the arms, feel free to come into ragdoll, holding onto opposite elbows if you like. Swaying around, finding your balance in the feet. Notice how everything's feeling throughout your practice so far. Swaying the upper body if that feels nice today. No ego, just mindfulness. When I say no ego, guys, obviously I'm talking about that negative ego. Alright, finding stillness if you are moving now. Drop the hands towards the ground if you're not already there. And then start to straighten everything out into a halfway lift. So inhale, slide the hands up along the shins. Straight arms, legs, and back. So making sure that we're not rounding through the back here. Really finding our shape. Getting used to the body where it is. Exhale, forward fold back down. So from our forward fold, let's rise up to stand. Feel free to bend through the knees. Inhale, roll and rise. Take a big wide reach at the top. And exhale, bring the hands down through heart center at the chest. Take a moment there. Find your bearings. Let all of the blood rush back towards the limbs. And let's begin again. We're taking our next few poses. So from here, let's inhale. Bring your right knee up in front of you, right up into the chest. Using your core strength to hold there. Squeeze the glutes as well. With your right leg, take a big step back, lean forwards. Feel free to move the hands out as needed. We're going to ground that right foot and turn the toes out to the short edge of your mat. So pointing outwards, actually pointing to the long edge of your mat there. So from here with the arms, inhale, sweep them out to warrior two height, which is shoulder height. And perhaps start to lunge into that front left knee. Now you'll see how my knee's going over the ankle. It means I need to take a bigger step. So slide it on up further if you need to. And sinking into that pose, but not leaning forwards into it. Bring it back. Imagine there's a book balancing on your head. Squeeze the glutes. Open up that right leg. And breathe through this hold here. Warrior two. So once again, no ego of negativity here. You're just finding strength through this warrior. Let's find a little peaceful warrior. That means bring your right hand back down behind you, lean back, open that left hand up to the ceiling. If you want to take it further, feel free to take a little reach over behind you. Hold it there for a moment. We're still lunging into that left knee here. Really find your balance. And inhale, wind it back to warrior two. Keep on leaning forwards, lean your left elbow onto the left knee and reach your right arm up and over to the opposite end of the mat. Still lunging into that left knee here. Your legs might be getting a little tired by now. Notice if it's just strengthening or if it's too much. If it's too much, come out of the pose, come back in when you're ready to. All right, we're going to sweep it down to a low lunge. So ground both hands down to the mat on either side of that front foot, pivoting down, Drop that right knee and untuck your toes. Sounds like a lot, you got this. Let's push the chest up, pushing into that left leg still. Feel free to bring the hands onto that left knee. So we're still lunging forwards and down with the hips there. Keep that going. Hold and breathe here. All right. Take one more breath in and out. Start to straighten out through that front leg. Good job. Flexing that left foot towards you. And this is coming into our half splits pose. So from the hip joints, you may be able to fold forwards a little bit. You may be able to fold forwards a lot. But this is where ego is so important, not to bring that negative ego in, all right? You may be able to reach one hand. Try not to offset your balance too much. In a lot of poses, we want to keep it all square. Keep that left foot flexing towards you. Lengthening through the back. And you'll really feel that left hamstring get a great stretch. Doing a great job, guys. Breathe through it. One more breath now. Excellent. Push back into that front left foot for now. We're going to meet back in a forward fold. So tuck the right toes, lift that back right knee. Remember, take as least amount of steps as you can. Hop it up to the top into our forward fold once again there. Take a moment, take a breath. Knees can be bent or straight depending on your flexibility going today. The warmth of the day really depends how tight or flexible we are. The warmer the day, the more flexible the muscles. Let's inhale to a halfway lift. So inhale, flatten the arms, legs and back. And exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise up to stand. Big roll, big wide reach. Exhale the hands down through heart center. Wonderful, let's take it to the other side. So bring your left knee up in front of you, hover there for a moment, core switched on, glutes as well. And then take a big step back with your left leg. As you lean forwards, it helps you take that big step without losing your balance. Turn that left foot out to the long edge of your mat. Hopefully you've taken a big enough step. If not, we can adjust it in a moment. Sweep those arms out to warrior two height. So now pointing that right knee over the right toes, but just so that the knee is over the ankle. Hands are shoulder height or thereabouts. To be honest, we actually usually have them too high, looking over the eye level height. So drop them down a little bit. Take a look at your forearms and you'll notice the angle. Get to know your body. Core engaged, lunging as low as you like here, as long as it's just positive ego coming in. All right, let's come into peaceful warrior. Lean back, left hand to left leg, straight arm, right arm's reaching up or over you. Take a couple of breaths there. This will be a little bit harder to breathe through, so do your best. And inhale, rise out of the pose, hands to warrior two. Then lean forwards, right elbow to right knee. Left arm sweeps up and over into our side angle pose. Keep lunging into that right knee as much as you might want to rest. Push through it. You got this, guys. Hold and breathe. Legs are working strong, so is the core, the whole body really. And let's sweep it down onto the mat. This time we're going to come into downward facing. Oh no, wait, we're not yet. Drop that left knee down, low lunge first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So lift the chest up, rest the hands to that front right knee, and then lunge your hips forwards and down into that pose. So keep the chest up here. That's why the hands are there. They're not to just hang out. Leaning up and away, really getting a nice stretch to the left front of the hip. Finding your balance. Take a few moments here. Let yourself surrender into the pose. Feel free to relax the shoulders down a little bit. Really feel myself sinking into it today. See if you can as well. So from here, let's straighten out that front right leg. Come onto the heel of that foot. Wriggle it around until you've got good balance underneath you. Bring the hands to the hips if you like. We're going to hinge forwards from that hip joint as much as we can, and then rest your hands wherever you can. So whether it's on that right leg, maybe grounding your left hand down to the mat, or maybe both hands, but not overdoing it, as I've already mentioned lots of times today. So keeping a long flat back as often and present as you can. Keep that right foot flexing towards you. Find your breath. If you find you're holding your breath, it's a good sign that ego has come in a little too much and you're not actually gonna trust the pose here. So your body knows best. It's up to the mind to allow us to do it properly. Okay, last breath here. Breathe all the way in for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5. And push back into that right foot. This time we're going to slide that right leg all the way back behind us and come into downward facing dog. So do that however you can. And tuck those toes under, ready for your downward dog. You can jump straight up into it if you're ready. Remember, downward dog, we want to keep the hands shoulder width apart, the feet hip width apart. Up to you if you pedal those legs out or not. And noticing the difference in the legs from such good stretches there. Okay, find stillness. Inhale, rise onto the tippy toes. Exhale, slowly lower the right, or not right knee, both knees down. Exhale over 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those hands back underneath you. So now we're back in tabletop. We're going to open your right hand up nice and high towards the ceiling. So make sure that the knees are comfortably wide apart. This is going to be our base here through the knees. Open your right arm wide and high, gazing up towards the ceiling where the hand's going. Exhale, thread that right hand all the way through, resting your right shoulder down and the side of the head. Adjust your hand wherever necessary to feel comfortable, so that we're getting a nice big stretch through the shoulder blades on the back, especially on your right side. So right now we're stretching our rhomboid muscles. These rhomboid muscles attached to the spine, and from the spine onto your shoulder blade area. Just a couple more breaths here. Keep reaching that right arm through, opening your chest up by pushing your left hand into the mat. All right, let's get ready to unthread. When you're ready, inhale, undo that right arm wide and high. Exhale, ground that right hand back to the mat. Inhale, your left arm wide and high. Exhale, thread that left arm all the way through. Rest your left shoulder and side of the head down. Moving that right hand to wherever's comfortable. Somewhere just in front of your face, ideally. So we've got a bit of an active reach happening with your left hand here. And your right hand is gently pushing into the mat. Breathe through this lovely threaded needle pose. Potentially feeling this stretch more on your left side shoulder blade area. Keeping the hips square, not swaying off to the side. Take your final long breath now in this pose. When you're ready, push into that right hand, thread that left arm all the way wide and high. Exhale, ground it back to the mat. Nice. All right. From here, let's come into puppy pose. I like to bring my toes back to the edge of the mat, so still knees hip width apart. Hands are slightly in front. We're going to reach out even further. Hands are still shoulder width apart. We're going to look down towards the mat, directly down. From there then, keep the hips above the knees where they are, so not any further forwards. If anything, you can have them a little further back. We're going to drop the chest down towards the mat, resting your forehead here. Now if you can't rest your forehead, that's okay, just do your best. Unlike child's pose, we don't have to have the forehead resting, but it's a good idea to. If you've got a block handy, you can always use that, but know that it's not essential. Breathing deep into the chest, keeping the arms long and straight here. Not letting those elbows rest, keep them lifted, keep the arms active. One more breath where you are. When you're ready, inhale, push into the hands, use your core, bring everything back to center in tabletop. All right, let's flip on over into a seated pose. Come into the middle of your mat. Alrighty. So from there, we're going to straighten out your left leg and open up your right knee. So we're in a bit of a half butterfly pose here. With your left hand then, slide it onto the left leg and then flex your left foot towards you. So we're going to start to lean towards that left leg. If you can reach the toes, by all means go for it. And your right hand can just rest on your right knee or on the mat, whatever feels good here to start off with. So turning your chest, letting your left shoulder lead your way down towards that leg and allowing the head to just rest in any position here. So it should feel quite nice through your back, in that lower back, upper hip area. No tension in the neck here. If anyone wants to take a little extra stretch, know that you don't have to, but open up your right arm, straight and active, and start reaching over toward that same hand and your left foot. So it's not necessarily the challenge to touch it, we're just leaning over to that angle, and you'll feel a heap more of a stretch through that side of the body that I mentioned, if you didn't already. Take one more breath here. And inhale that right hand all the way back. Everyone ground it behind you. And then the left hand's going to lead up towards the ceiling. So from here, we're actually going to roll over onto that right knee, lead the hips up nice and high, and take a little back bend here. So your knee's likely going to be off the mat. That's a good sign that you've got good form. Know that your right hand's probably going to be a little further out in front of you. We do want it under the shoulder or somewhere that feels safe for your shoulder. Okay, let's come on down, control that movement. And swap sides. So straighten out your right leg, bend through that left knee, and start by flexing that right foot towards you. Nice full body. Then folding that right shoulder and side of the body towards that right foot. My left hand is just currently resting on my thigh and allowing the chest and body and spine really to start to not collapse over but round and fold over. So we're feeling it now on that left side, lower back, upper glute area. Let's hang out here for a little while. Breathe through that lovely stretch. No matter how it feels, we never want to be in pain, just slightly uncomfortable. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. If anyone wants to, feel free to add in that left arm reach. So sweep it up and around. Active stretch here. So not curving that arm, keeping it long and straight. Curving through the spine more so. Take a few long breaths here. It's all we need. Alright, let's inhale, rise back up. Everyone lead that left hand back behind us, ground it. Right hand leads up towards the ceiling then. Roll forwards and onto that left knee, squeeze the glutes, come into a back bend, also a bit of a side bend really. Breathe through that, hold it there for a couple of breaths. Most of the weight is in your left hand and left knee. Last breath. Feel the strength rise. And exhale, lower it back down with control, no collapsing. And then stretch both of those legs out nice and long. Alright, let's wind our way down onto our back. So feel free to have the heels just over the edge of your mat, arms reaching out long. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, start to lean forwards into that forward fold reach. Inhale, rise up tall, perhaps taking that recline as low as you want to go today. Exhale to lean forwards. Make sure you're using your core here. Inhale, bringing it back. Exhale, forwards. Inhale, recline. Exhale, forwards. Inhale, all the way back this time. Maybe shimmy your heels over the edge of the mat if they've moved. Come all the way down onto your back with as much core control as you've got there. And we'll hug the knees into the chest. Breathe through that for a moment. Make any movements that feel good. From this position, feel free to stretch up your left foot towards the ceiling. Straighten that leg as much as you can. Doing our little leg lower here. Option to hold the right knee with both hands, one hand or no hands. Hands by your sides or under your hips if that's the case. And let's prepare to lower. So breathe in, choosing your pose. Keep that left leg really straight. Exhale, lowering that right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. grounding that heel down. Roll your right knee over to the left side with the help of the left hand, and then feel free to open your right arm out wide as well. So a nice gentle spinal twist, looking over to that right side as well. Now just to add in something slightly different here, we're going to bend that right arm at 90 degrees. So some of you might have the hand hanging quite up high, and that's just because of your shoulder rotator cuff muscles. So just allow time here. We'll stay here for probably over a minute at least to allow that shoulder to freely open up in its own time. Let gravity do the work here. If you find that your hand is easily resting there, but your knee, your right knee, is not touching the ground, feel free to roll that knee over and then allow your shoulder on that right side to continue to make its way into more space. Not overdoing it, knowing your limits. Notice any sensations. Often you can get pins and needles here in your right hand or arm. Think of it as stagnant energy moving throughout the body, and then visualize it leaving through your breath. And one more breath. Brace your core, roll it back onto the spine. Hug both knees into your chest. Notice how the chest and shoulder feels on that right side. Okay, let's come to the other side. So inhale your right leg straight up in the air. Hold that left leg however you did on the other side. When you're ready, 5 seconds to lower that right leg on the exhale. Breathe in to prepare again. Exhale over 5, 4, keep that leg straight as you can. 3, 2, 1. Ground that right leg. Right hand can hold on to the left knee to roll it over to the side. And then start to open your left arm out wide as well, looking over to that left side. So finding ourselves in our spinal twist here on the other side. Really notice the difference here from side to side. So I'm certainly feeling a lot tighter on this side for some reason today. See if you can take notice of why that might be the case. What is it that you might have done to trigger some imbalances in your body? Now is the time to bend that left arm into a 90-degree angle and holding it there. Know that your right hand is just supporting your left leg in that twist as well. So you don't have to hold it, but it is a great way to just stop the body from trying to roll back onto the spine. You're not pushing it down, you're just holding it. Every breath, finding a space in that left side chest and shoulder. And remember that over time, if you've got that flexibility there, notice if the knee is lifted off of the mat, feel free to ground it and gently open that chest and shoulder a little bit more. Don't feel like you have to though. Keep that arm at 90 degrees. I know it might not be comfortable. Often we avoid the poses we need the most because they're uncomfortable. Taking your last breath now. When you're ready, brace and roll back onto the spine. Hugging the knees into the chest. Last time here now before we wind down for Shavasana. So grab what you need to, any blankets, socks or jumpers, but slide our way out into our Shavasana. So getting yourself comfortable here. Tuck the shoulder blades behind you. Arms can rest out by your sides or on your chest or belly. Doing what suits you best today. Making sure that the shoulders are down and away from ears. Ideally, the feet are about the width of your mat so that your ankles can roll out effortlessly. Relaxing the hips and glutes. Taking a few long breaths. Feel free to sigh out through the mouth here. Let yourself relax. Making any last movements you need to now. And then doing your best to hold stillness for the rest of this meditation until you hear the singing bowl at the end. And then following my cues furthermore. Notice how you went today with your ego. Did you learn to understand the difference between both positive and negative ego? Was it harder than you thought? Or did you manage to isolate them quite easily? Know that the more we practice, the easier this becomes to recognize. So all we need to do is do our best every time. No more and no less. Just our best. I'll leave you here in silence now for a little while. Enjoy this restful space. Let yourself drift into your happy place. Noticing those sounds that you hear. Noticing where you lie and how you feel. When you're ready to, you can start to wriggle the fingers and the toes. Rolling the ankles and the wrists. Maybe bringing the feet closer together and taking a big overhead stretch, however you like to. And rolling, actually first of all hugging the knees into your chest. Feel free to roll over onto your right side there. And then rising up into our seated position, meeting there. So grab your essential oil now, hopefully it's nearby. I have Citrus Bliss today in a cute little dropper bottle, and it's just diluted with some coconut oil. So it is important to dilute your oils because they are very strong and potent, so avoid putting them straight on your skin if you can. I know it's easier to, but you don't want to go putting too much goodness onto your body. Okay, so we're going to take 3 big breaths now. When you're ready, bring the hands up to the face, breathe it on in. Hands to heart, side out. 2 more like that. Breathe in. Let it go. Last breath, biggest one yet. Notice how good that feels to let go of the sighing breath. With your prayer pose, bring your thumbs up to your third eye. With my thumbs at my third eye, my thoughts are pure and clear. With my thumbs to my lips, my speech is pure and clear. With my thumbs to my chest, my heart is pure and clear. I'm taking a moment of gratitude now for something that has happened today or this week, whatever it is. Affirm, I am grateful for whatever it may be. Feel free to choose more than one thing. Know that I am so grateful for you still following me on this yoga journey. You're truly amazing. Keep up the great work. And I will see you again soon. Namaste. Great job, guys. I hope you feel wonderful and blissful as always. I will see you soon for your bonus class. Bye for now.